everybody, I finally picked up the X-Men Arcade1up cabinet. I picked this up on Wayfair. Now this is one of my favorite arcade games, one of my favorite beat-em-ups of all time. I used to play the 6-player version of this all the time as a kid at Putt-Putt here in Augusta. And so definitely have a lot of nostalgia for it. And I've played it a lot to this day still. I had it on my Xbox 360, and so I would play it on there, play it online on there. And I've been enjoying playing it online on here. So we'll get into this and take a look at the games. Alright, so this cabinet does come with 3 games. We have X-Men, the title game. We have Captain America and the Avengers. And then we have Avengers and Galactic Storm. Now, I've played X-Men and Captain America and the Avengers in the arcade before growing up. I have never played Avengers and Galactic Storm before having this cabinet. Never even heard of it before. It is a fighting game, so that was interesting that was included. So we have settings for each of the games here. For X-Men we have difficulty, the amount of lives, maximum mutant power, attract mode sound, scan lines. For Captain America and the Avengers you have difficulty, attract mode sound, and scan lines. And then for Avengers and Galactic Storm, you have the difficulty, damage modifier, versus playtime, versus round, story playtime, story lives, story life recovery, attract mode, sound, and scan lines. Alright, so starting off, we are going to play a little bit of X-Men to show this game. And if you go over here to the side, you can of course see the high scores here for everybody who has gotten high scores with each of the characters. And you can also see what games are available here for online play. Now the controls are mapped out before you get into the game, but also for X-Men the controls are mapped out here on the actual control deck. Now, since this is the 4-player version of X-Men, you will get to pick which X-Men you want to play as. It's not dedicated to which control you are sitting at. So you'll get to choose. Now, I usually ended up playing as Dazzler in the arcade because everybody had all the other characters chosen usually when I got over there when I was a kid. But I'm a fan of Dazzler, so that is perfectly fine with me, and I play as her a lot. And I think her mutant power is actually really strong in this game. One thing I would have liked to have seen them include in this is the Japanese ROM as well, to be able to switch between it. So when this got released on the Xbox, you could play on the Japanese ROM if you wanted to, and it is different. You can actually pick up life and mutant power drops from enemies when you're playing in the Japanese ROM, so that's different. And also, you probably know this if you've played this game before, but your mutant power uses up your life bar. But and then once your life bar is too low to use mutant power from your life, you'll use up your power here for your mutant power. In Japan, though, the Japanese ROM, it uses the mutant power up here first before you start using your life. So it's a little different in that regard and a little more forgiving in that regard. And makes a little more sense in that regard, that your mutant power you'd actually get to use first before your life. We're going to play up through Pyro here. I even had a version of this, they released this also for like the iPhone and iPod, and you could download it on your iPod back in the day too. I think it was like $2 or something, or $1.99. So I even had this on my iPod. So if they release this X-Men game on modern consoles again at some point, I will buy it and download it and play it again on there. But it is cool to have this arcade version, the home arcade version, on this cabinet. I know that was a waste, but as you can see, I'm already down to 1 life bar. I was kind of worried I was going to get hit and not use it at all. So yeah, if you look at my life up here, if I use my mutant power now, it uses 3 bars of my health. And so that's one of the things I was saying about the Japanese version. It would have used this little blue ball first before it used up my health. Now, I know I was talking about the Xbox version of this game. It was on PlayStation as well, but it is delisted now for the Xbox 360, and it wasn't available on Xbox One. Same with like Simpsons and the Ninja Turtles. Those were also released as well back then. Yeah, so every time you beat a level, you gain an extra mutant power here to use. So it would be helpful if you could use those before using your life. So that's one thing I liked about the Japanese ROM. So anyway, so you can get the live button to go back to the main menu. This will let you change your visibility, let you leave the game. You can also see if any other players are visiting your game and what other players you're playing with. All right, Captain America and the Avengers. I will say I do still see people playing this. There are people, like I said, you can see people playing online right now. And then Captain America and the Avengers, nobody's playing right now, but I have seen people playing that. I don't think, nobody's playing this Avengers and Galactic Storm right now, but I have seen people playing that even, and I have not had this cabinet very long, so people are still playing online, which is great. So I think the Avengers and Galactic Storm is also Data East, so I think that's one of the reasons it was included in this, because they were able to throw that in since it was a Marvel game, and also Data East. However, I don't know how that works since the X-Men game on here is Konami, so I'm not sure why they were able to do the Data East games with the Konami X-Men game. I would love to see a Marvel cabinet that just had all the Marvel beat-em-ups, like Spider-Man and the Punisher on it too. That would be really cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So for this game, you do not get to choose a character regardless of what section of the control deck you're on. So for example, I'm player 1, so I am going to be Vision automatically. So if you want to be Iron Man, you have to be player 2, Captain America player 3, Hawkeye player 4. I think there's only 2 buttons to use in this. You have your attack button and your jump button. If you press them both together, you'll do a special attack. You can pick up items with your punch button. I might only play till about the middle of the level and not all the way to whirlwind. And you also have your attack when you jump and attack while you're in the air. Now, I don't think I've ever played all the way through this, though I have played all the way through X-Men before. But you get a lot of different characters in this game, a lot of villains, so that's really cool. Avengers make cameo appearances in this game. There's Quicksilver, for example, gives you some health. I think the second level you get Wasp for a section. Wonder Man makes an appearance. And one thing about this game is your special moves don't take any of your health like they do in other games. I said I wasn't going to go all the way to Whirlwind, but it was actually a lot shorter than I could remember off the top of my head. But that's the first level of Avengers, Captain America and the Avengers. All right, we'll back out of this. I haven't really been paying attention up here to how my Wi-Fi is right now. I will say I did just switch providers recently. I did just put an extender in here, but I'm not sure how it's working. I haven't tested it out. You can see it's not even full right here, so the extender may not be properly working yet. I may need to try to repair that. But that is Captain America and the Avengers. And so now let's take a look at Avengers and Galactic Storm. Oh, I want to go back to Captain America and the Avengers real quick. I did not look here just to show what this is. So you can see where the attack and jump buttons are for each character here, since they don't use the same layout as X-Men, obviously. But yeah, they only have 2 buttons for that. X-Men only uses 3 buttons. The 4th button is specifically for the fighting game. All right, so Avengers and Galactic Storm is a 2-player game, but this is really interesting to me. So on other cabinets that have 2-player games on them but have a 4-player control deck, all the 2-player games are always on 1st player, 2nd player. But this cabinet has the option for 1st player to use either of these sides and for 2nd player to use either of these sides, which I think is great, and I think all of them should do that. It makes a lot more sense. I think this is the only cabinet that does this. I don't think any of my other cabinets do. I think they relegate you here to the middle, 2 controls. So I think that's really cool that you can go wherever you want as far as your controls there, even though it's a 2-player game. So we'll go ahead and start this. You can see we got fast punch, fast kick, strong punch. Now, I still have not looked up any of the actual moves to this game, so I don't know anything about what I'm doing. There's a story mode, and you can play co-op in the story mode. And then my girlfriend and I did that a little bit. And then there's the versus mode, which is your traditional fighting game stuff. So let's take a look at story mode first. So you can only choose from the heroes in story mode. We'll go with Crystal. And then you get to choose like a character that comes out and helps. We're going to go with Giant Man. I've not really played deep into this game on here. This was definitely not the game I got this cabinet for. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just have never heard of it before and wasn't really my what I got the cabinet for. See if I can do something here. Like a lot of her moves that I have kind of figured out are basically, you know, your basic quarter circle moves, basic Street Fighter movements for some of her moves. There's a Giant Man, and I guess that was a half circle in both punches. I don't know if that's how it's working. But that's basically story mode. The Kree. So if I selected friend instead of foe, if another player came in, they would be teamed up with me. And we would work together against whatever the enemy was on that stage. And both players play at the same time, so... Alright. So let's just go back and let's try versus mode, which is basically the same thing, but in versus mode you get to pick the villains as well. And you have different characters here to choose for your side characters as the villains. I think this game would be more interesting to me with a bigger roster. I'm surprised they didn't make Iron Man playable, and just having him as like a backup character is interesting. But it's a fighting game, a pretty basic fighting game, but it's not bad. I think the speed is fine in it, but I don't think this is something I would really put a lot of time into. But you might like it. So I already knew the marquee was going to be washed out like this when I got the cabinet, so I wasn't surprised by that. I've seen a lot of other reviews of it, so I knew that. This might be one time where I actually buy a marquee to replace this with. I've never done that before, but it really is really washed out, and I would like a better one. So this might be one that I actually do upgrade. So One thing I noticed when I was putting this together too, I actually noticed it when I was doing the riser. Um, I had never noticed before that some of the X-Men logos are upside down here. Like there's got a line of them that are right side up and then a line of them that are upside down. Um, just something, even as a kid, like I'd never ever noticed that. So that was the first time I ever noticed that was with this cab. So that is the marquee here. Now, one thing that's new to me, and none of my other cabinets have this, is the light up deck protector. So it will change color every time you press the button over here. So you can set it how you would like it to be. And then off. So that's interesting, but I, again, have never had that before on any of my other cabinets. It's not a feature I've been using whenever I play, but it might be something I turn on if I have friends over and we're playing on the cabinet. So another thing here on the deck, you have all your different controls laid out, and I'll take the camera off. We'll take a look at the whole control deck here. So one other thing on here that none of my other cabinets had is this headphone jack here. So you can actually plug headphones into here. And I thought that was cool. I knew it was on some cabinets, but none of the cabinets that I have had it. So that was new to me as well. And I just want to take a look here at the artwork on the side. It looks really great. I always remember seeing this artwork at the arcade when I was there. If you've watched some of my videos, you'll see that I have come across 6-player X-Men arcades at some of the arcades I've done tours of. And every time I see them, I always have to play on them, even though I played this game a million times at a million different places, different ways, but I always usually have to go check it out. I do like they have Cyclops on the riser. Now, this is the first time I've bought a riser cab since the deluxes came out. I didn't think I ever would again, but because it seems that we're not going to get a deluxe X-Men or an XL X-Men, I went ahead and decided to go ahead and pick it up. Now we do have here on the front our dual faux Now we do have here on the front our dual faux coin doors. I have had other cabs with the fake coin doors in the past. If you've seen the other cabs I have, this is the first one I've had that had 2 that I needed to put on. Still fairly easy. And then this one also lists the games list underneath the coin doors. I wish they had left that off, but that's okay. Maybe if they do eventually decide to do an XL or a deluxe of this, they will leave that off. I don't think those are going to happen, but if they do, that would be great. Now, I am a fan of 4-player cabinets. I know some people prefer them just to be 2-player and would rather have a 2-player deck. I understand that, but for me, this works perfect. I do enjoy the 4-player cabs. One other thing that is brand new to me with this cabinet is the stool. None of my other cabinets came with stools. I do have some footage of me when I have not put this together yet, because this was the first time I was putting the stool together. So I'll place that in here. So I've already put the cabinet together. I just have to put the back on. I did go ahead and turn it on and get the online set up and did the update. So once I get the back put on, get it on the riser, I'll be completely done and ready to start playing. Everything works fine. It was easy to put together. I haven't put together a cabinet with a riser in quite a while, and I'll talk a little bit about that in the review, about why I have bought another game with a riser when I didn't think I would again. But we're going to go ahead and put the stool together. Now, I have never had any of these stools from Arcade1up. It looks nice. I don't know how it's going to feel to sit on. So I'm interested to see if I like it. If I do like it, I might get some more stools from them. I definitely like the look of it, and it does feature Cyclops, my favorite X-Men, which is great. I will say I didn't know what the other, I guess, the sides of the cushion looked like until now. And it does have all the characters on it, which is really cool, because I also really love to play as Dazzler in this game, and she's one of my favorites. So, but yeah, we're going to put this together. It's only 4 parts. We've got the legs, the ring at the bottom of the legs, and the cushion, and then this is the total of the instructions. So there's not a whole lot going on. I just have to get the hardware to use and stick it all together. So we'll do that now, and then we'll come back. So that's great. I did see another stool with Wolverine and Storm that's available for sale on Wayfair. It's cheaper on Amazon, and I might pick that up as well eventually to go along with my cabinet. Thank you so much for watching today. This is one of my favorite arcade games of all time. I love beat-em-ups, but I love the X-Men, and so I especially love this one. It's very well crafted, based heavily on the pilot of Pride of the X-Men, or completely on Pride of the X-Men. If you've ever seen that, you can watch it on YouTube. But it's a really cool cabinet. The games list is good with X-Men and Captain America and the Avengers. I do wish they could have got some other games on here besides Avengers and Galactic Storm, because I don't think I'm going to play that a lot. But having X-Men on the cabinet is great, and I'll play X-Men a lot. Even though it's a beat 'em up, it's one that I play over and over again. They're my favorite superhero team, and when I read comic books, that was like the #1 thing I read was X-Men. Cyclops is my favorite character in comic books, so I mean, this cabinet is a huge win for me. Maybe I'll get to play with some of you online if you're playing on here. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you are playing on here. Maybe we'll see each other sometime on here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.